You Are the Universe Pretending Not to Know, an immersive spoken word journey through the cosmic mind of Alan Watts. This is not a lecture. This is not a sermon. This is a collision between who you think you are and what you really are. Alan Watts once said, "We seldom realize, for example, that our most private thoughts and emotions are not actually our own, for we think in terms of languages and images which we did not invent, but which were given to us by our society." What if your entire self, your thoughts, your identity, your fears, is a borrowed mask? Welcome to the world of Alan Watts. The boy who asked the wrong questions. Alan Wilson Watts was born in 1915 in a quiet English town. While other boys played with toy soldiers, Alan was meditating on emptiness. At age 7, he was already reading Buddhist texts. At 14, he wrote a paper challenging the Christian idea of sin. He wasn't rebellious, he was curious. And curiosity, when paired with courage, becomes dangerous. Belief clings, but faith lets go. Watts didn't want belief, he wanted experience. He would later say that Western religion teaches people to trust God the way a child trusts a parent. Eastern philosophy, he said, teaches you to become aware that you are God. Shocking? Maybe. But to Watts, blasphemy was just another word for truth spoken too soon. Priesthood, the stage of sacred lies. In his 20s, Watts tried the traditional path. He became an Anglican priest. But even inside the church, he felt something was off. He saw religion preaching love while instilling fear. Salvation was behind a paywall of guilt. And God? Reduced to an accountant in the sky. Trying to define yourself is like trying to bite your own teeth. He left the church, not to reject God, but to escape the idolatry of doctrine. He wanted the experience of the divine, not the secondhand story. So he left robes behind and entered something even more sacred: silence, Zen, paradox. Zen and the art of confusion. Watts didn't find clarity in Zen. He found bewilderment, and that was the point. In Zen, you're not supposed to find answers. You're supposed to lose the question. You're supposed to fail gloriously. Muddy water is best cleared by leaving it alone. Zen taught Watts that your mind is the mud. The more you stir, the worse it gets. Stop, watch, wait. The clarity comes from not chasing it. He popularized koans like, what is the sound of one hand clapping? If you meet the Buddha, kill him. These aren't riddles to solve. They're spiritual grenades meant to destroy logic itself. Psychedelics and the death of the ego. In the 50s and 60s, Watts wasn't just meditating, he was tripping. With LSD pioneers like Timothy Leary, he explored ego dissolution chemically. He said, "The ego is nothing other than the focus of conscious attention. You think you're you because you're paying attention to the story. But the deeper you look, the less there is to find. Under LSD," he said, "the separation between self and world disappears. What remains is pure awareness, untethered, radiant, terrifyingly free." He didn't encourage drug use blindly, but he respected its potential to break the spell of ego. You are not the mind. This is one of Watts' central messages. You are not a drop in the ocean. You are the entire ocean in a drop. In other words, you are not your thoughts, you are the awareness of thought, not the actor, but the stage. He explained this with a metaphor. Imagine waves on the sea. Each wave thinks it's separate, but it's not. It's the sea rising in form briefly. You are that wave. And death, it's not the end, it's the wave returning to the ocean. The dance of life. To Watts, life was not a journey, not a struggle, not a test. Life was a dance. The whole point of dancing is the dance. We're conditioned to chase goals, futures, improvements, but that's like playing music to get to the final note. He said, "Man suffers only because he takes seriously what the gods made for fun." Your obsession with meaning, he argued, is the trap. Meaning is what arises when you're truly present, not what you seek like a reward. Death, rebirth, and the last whisper. Watts died in 1973. His body failed, but his words didn't. Even death to him was an illusion. Death is only the beginning of the next act of the play. He believed you don't go anywhere when you die. You go back. You dissolve into the same nothingness you came from, full of everything. Today, his voice lives on in lo-fi tracks, animation, AI narrations, and podcasts like this one. Why? Because his message was timeless. Finals, the final collapse of identity. You want to wake up? Then let go. Let go of your story. Let go of your image. Let go of needing to be someone. Watts didn't want disciples. He didn't want a church. He wanted you to realize that you are an aperture through which the universe is looking at and exploring itself. You aren't separate from the world. You are the world, the cosmos, the play, the player. And when you finally see that, truly see it, you'll laugh. Because all this, your struggles, your beliefs, your search, was the punchline of a cosmic joke. And the joke is, you were never lost. You just forgot the game.